we're going to help you redefine and shift your definition of what is rich. Previously, we talked about being poor. Now it's rich. Why do we want you to be rich, and how are you going to obtain it this year? In this episode, we're going to help you with that. All right. That was so good. That was so good. Poor. Fear. It's a mindset. And when people remove that fear, remove those obstacles, they can become rich. Mm-hmm. What is your definition of rich?
And we talked about this a little bit in the last episode.
Yeah,
but I'm going to go ahead. We're going to redefine them.
Okay. Because this is going to help shift so much.
Yeah. Rich and poor.
Yeah.
Both. Not a state of your bank account.
Correct.
Rich, to me, is walking in the fullness and abundance of life, producing value and sharing your gift with the world. And a reminder, poor, walking in fear and lack, constantly worrying that there isn't enough and that things will be taken away from you.
True or false? These are your definitions?
Yes.
Can we get Webster in here? Like, we need to redefine in the dictionary. That's the way it should be.
That's one of the tricks, actually, for you to be able to feel fulfilled in your life is taking the time to define things. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter how Webster had it defined. What does success mean to you? Mm-hmm. What does poor mean to you? What does rich mean to you? What does happy mean to you? Mm. What does fulfilled mean to you? What does empowering mean to you? What is all the words that you wrote in your eulogy?
Uh-oh.
What are those lines? What are those sentences? What do they actually look like? What's that picture?
Yeah. And define it. Mm-hmm. Realistically, that changed so much for me when I started changing individual definitions of words. Mm-hmm. You know, success for me became anytime I recognize an opportunity. Mm-hmm. For a long time, it was I need to make this amount of money. Right. And a quick story for me, I told everyone since I was young that I wanted to be a millionaire. I was like, I'm going to be a millionaire. Told everyone since I was like 7. Like, this will be so cool. I'm going to be a millionaire because Forrest Gump was a millionaire. I'm going to be a millionaire. And I told everyone that. And I told them by the time I'm 30. So when I was 30 years old, right, I opened my bank account, my birthday. And I look at my bank account, and there was not $1 million in there.
What?
And I felt like a failure. I was like, I've been telling everyone my whole life, right, that I was going to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
And like 2 or 3 weeks later, I was doing taxes. And I realized how much I had made that year in sales and in growth and in trading and in a few other businesses and a few other sales processes. Like, I had all these things combined, right? I didn't define. I need to have $1 million in my bank account, cash and liquid, at 30 years old. Because that wasn't, at the time, specifically important to me. Mm-hmm. Because number one, cash is trash, right? Cash flow is king. So having $1 million in your bank account just sitting there is not that awesome.
Don't miss that quotable. Jeez.
But really...
I'm writing that down. Yeah. I'm not a fool.
That's... But realistically, if we think through that, I mean, that was something that was magnificent to me. And I had a coaching session with a guy that I'm fired up by this individual. He's so amazing. First shout out of this season. His name is Chris. And I love coaching with this guy. He's a husband. He's a father to 2 sons. He works with me on a weekly basis, a yearly coaching student. All right. So by no means financially inexpensive. So this guy sits down and was like, Jerremy, I would love to do all the things that you and Britnie do. He's a huge fan of you, by the way. Massive fan of Broke to Woke.
Appropriate. No,
yes. Yeah. Very appropriate. Very appropriate. Huge fan of you. And he's like, Jerremy, I would love to do all the things that you guys do, but I'm not a millionaire, so I can't do these 3 things. I can't do this. I can't go on that island. I can't do this. I can't go on these trips with you guys. I was like, whoa. Wait a minute. You said you're not a millionaire? He's like, well, yeah, I'm not. I'm like, why not? And he did the exact same definition for me. He's like, I don't have $1 million in my bank account. I'm like, dude, we just had a conversation like 6 minutes ago about your business. I was kind of helping him through his business a little bit. His business does $1 million net in sales every year. And he's the 100% owner of that business. I was like, brother, you, my friend, are a millionaire.
I think it was 2 years after I was a millionaire that I found out I was a millionaire.
How'd you find out?
It took me like 10 years to actually have $1 million sitting in my bank account, like just chilling there. But
Yeah.
I was a multimillionaire at 24.
Yeah.
Had no idea.
Yeah.
Had no idea.
No.
That's the power of the word called net worth, people.
Yes, exactly. Net worth. And also just defining it.
People can be billionaires and actually not have a lot of cash,
Correct.
which is nuts.
Right. I know 2 billionaires have a very low credit score. Very low, and it's just because they have just so much outstanding debt and they have so many lines of credit and they forget to pay a credit card, I mean, it doesn't matter to them.
Busy.
Yeah, exactly. They're just busy. They have lives. They have things going on. But that definition that you mentioned, Britnie, was just so outstandingly powerful. Because what we're talking about is truly having and changing and shifting your belief systems into what you can achieve. Because if you can go, I am rich anytime I serve someone.
Yeah.
I am massively rich anytime I love my wife or my family. Because that will help you feel it. Because there are such a negative connotation with the word rich.
Oh, yeah.
Would you agree?
Well, it's always associated to the bad guy or greed or all this stuff. But if you actually notice in this definition,
Read it again, please.
walking in the fullness and abundance of life, producing value and sharing your gift with the world. Was there money even mentioned?
I didn't hear it mentioned.
Money is fake. Money is simply the expansion tool of your heart.
Yeah.
So again, if I'm walking in the fullness and abundance of life, if I'm creating value and I'm sharing my gift, that is how I pulled myself out of being poor. I found a way to operate from my gift. I found a way to create value. And I went literally from living in my car to a multimillionaire in 3 years during the greatest recession in history for real estate. The greatest one. And I was in real estate. I made it.
Yeah.
Multi-made it because I stopped even, and I don't look at the money. It's really hard not to when you got to pay bills. But trust me, my heart was focused on learning. Because if I learned, I can help end human trafficking. That's the connection in my head.
Correct.
If I learn this, which again, you're one Google away from learning it yourself.
Yep.
If I learn this, I can put the pieces together. I can build systems. I can build influence. I can have the money to be able to fund the things that I care about, which is ending human trafficking and poverty at its root. So when you make that connection to why it's bigger than you pull yourself out of your own butt and understand you've got to connect to all the things you're called to connect to. You are rich. And the money follows. Again, everybody says it. I've always been so annoyed when people say that. But it is true.
It's annoyingly true. It's frustrating.
But don't get stuck in like,
because you're not going to believe it initially.
Well, you got to be all in. I was just talking to somebody who is very close to Tony Robbins. You know Tony is very wealthy. You know that. How long do you think he's been wealthy?
Oh, my. 10 years.
He's currently working 18 hours a day.
Yep.
Why?
He loves what he does. The guy's jacked up.
That's his purpose.
Yeah.
You could never pay me enough to do the things that I do, but you'd never have to pay me because I'm doing the things that I love, and I will work 18, 21 hours a day on the things that I love. Why? Because it's what I want to do. I want you guys to understand freedom is doing what you want to do. It's not sipping a beer, chilling on a beach. It's truly seeing how you're connected and how you can give. What's great about Jerremy Newsom, taking that gift and giving it to the world. That is the highest high you can ever experience, right?
Yes, 100%.
You could have stopped working forever ago.
Long time.
You do not need to coach people.
No.
I never had to even start that part of my life. But we felt it was a responsibility to be able to give back.
It pulls me. It truly makes me feel so complete. Because it's that part of me that goes, this person can do so much good if they are massively rich, if they are wealthy, if they are abundant. I mean, the book, You Are a Badass at Making Money by Jen Sincero.
So good.
Shout out to my girl, Jen.
Hey, Jen.
So in that book, she really mentions, imagine all of your friends, your best friends, the people you care about the most in life. And then now imagine they're a billionaire, how much good
Yes.
will they all do for the world?
Yes.
Now go get rich.
That's the point of this podcast. We need you to be rich.
We do.
If you had an extra $700,000 a year that you had to do something great with, what would it
be?
Who would be blessed because of you?
Yes.
It's not holy to be poor.
No.
Where did that ever come from? Why did I ever believe that?
I don't know.
I did.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to turn into a bad person at X dollars. And so therefore I kept self-sabotaging or finding holy sounding excuses or giving away the seed, enough money. I would give away that seed instead of investing it and growing it to be able to give it greater and greater and greater. Now always give proportionally, you know, but don't give away all of the seed to plant for a harvest.
Correct.
It's crazy. So we want you to be rich.
Yep.
It is your responsibility to be rich.
Yes, that's the takeaway.
It's your responsibility. You have to do it, guys.
The reason that we're afraid to be rich is even if I talk to someone and go, man, you're so rich, they always are like, it's the word alone just has such a negative connotation.
Yeah.
Here's why. Movies. Who is normally the evil person?
Always the rich guy.
Yeah, always. Right?
Thanks, Disney.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Like in the Titanic.
Cruella.
The meanest people in the Titanic were all rich.
It's always that way. And so how are you letting media block you from everything you've ever wanted?
Uh-oh. Here she comes.
Did you choose to define what you would do with wealth?
Here she comes.
I watched how a handful of wealthy people upheld an entire nation after Hurricane Irma destroyed it. A place that didn't have enough means to be able to really feed and water people that were going to die without it. When they brought in Convoy of Hope and fed the nation for 120 days, or used their boats as rescue boats or helicopters to deliver aid, do you think that hurt their finances and their kid now can't go to school because they decided to give? Do you think that happened?
No.
No. Because they choose to educate themselves in wealth building tools, focus, overcome obstacles. They could be God's hands and feet in the time that people need it the most. It's your responsibility. So get rid of any weird beliefs and negative stuff. I say this lightly. It took me 5 years of coaching with somebody twice a week to stop self-sabotaging. Poverty, this, I don't know if you'd call it a spirit of poverty, whatever the freak, but that was so in me. That being rich was bad. So it might take you some time, guys.
It will.
It might, but whatever. What else do you have to do? You're going to die eventually.
You're going to die anyway.
You're going to die.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Get over yourself.
Yeah. Just, again, go back to that heart example. Think through, if it helps you, because it helped me, draw out a diagram of your heart and make it like a pie chart.
Ooh.
Right?
I love this.
And if you have a heart that's 100%, what percent, you can come up with certain attributes or you can come up with certain terms or beliefs, but notice whatever's in your heart will be amplified.
I love this.
And what do you have in there right now?
The heart pie chart. That's like a good tattoo.
It is. We're getting it together.
That's so good.
Matching tats.
Oh my gosh.
And having that, knowing that, realizing that, yes, it is so hard to break through that mindset. It took me years as well. And it's going to take everyone time. It always takes time or money.
Well, it'll take them less time.
Yes.
Because again, our ceiling will be your floor. You don't have to take as much time. And the reason I know this is going to work, because if you lost everything today, Jeremy, how long would it take you to rebuild to the point you are right now?
Days.
Days?
Days and a few phone calls.
For real?
Yeah, days and a few phone calls.
How long has it taken you to get here so far? Combined.
5 years?
32 years.
Yeah.
It's taken you 32 years
Yep.
to be where you are right now. And now this man
Valid
has
point.
the guts. He's so, you freaking guy. Days, really? But let's say it took him months. Why will it only take you months?
Exactly.
Or days.
From years to days or months is because now I've learned. I have the lessons. I have the mental maps and the procedures, and I have the phone numbers. I have the contacts. I have the rapport. I have the connections. And it would require some amount of time, but I'd have to call people. I'd have to ask favors. I'd have to ask questions. I'd have to rebuild. I'd have to pull a lot of favors. I'd have to pour back into the world even bigger and greater. But all of those pieces, and I think it's in the book Think and Grow Rich, right? He was asked, like, how long would you take if you lost everything? What would you do? I would work long enough to put on a suit, to go into the room and sit next to the people and learn and hear what they have to say.
Power of network.
The power of network.
We're going to talk about that in a future episode.
We will?
Let's say you had no network, though. And you relied only on your education, though.
That's tough.
But it still, would it take 32 years?
No, not at all.
How long would it take?
It'd probably take 2-3 years, yeah.
Because of what you have in your head. So no matter what the world does to you, I can never take that experience.
Mm-mm.
But guess what he's doing on this podcast? Sharing that.
Yeah.
What he took 32 years and 5 focused years of building his business and to build the massive amount of wealth that he has, he can share what revelations he came up with on that journey, so you don't have to go through the hell that led to the revelation. Yeah. Just take the revelations, guys. That's the whole point. Run with them.
That's so true.
Seriously, I can coach somebody. It's so freaking annoying. I can coach somebody and in 6 months make them a multimillionaire in real estate.
Yeah.
They focus. They're willing to put in the work because I can save you time, energy, pain, the fire, the mistakes, the lawsuits, all the crap.
Yeah. Here's how to ask. Here's what to propose.
Here's the
how
checklist.
to structure it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can save you that amount of pain because I've already been through it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't save you the next level maybe, but I can save you up to my point.
Mm-hmm. Right. And in so doing that, when people initially hear that, coach with XYZ person, doesn't have to be me, doesn't have to be you.
Absolutely not.
It could be anyone.
Yeah.
The initial thing, people are like, oh, it's going to cost money.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I spent $500,000 on coaching and or classes.
Least.
I didn't go to college.
Yeah.
My background to qualify me to speak on this podcast is waitressing.
Well,
We are sitting on a private island right now.
that was the broke part.
Yeah. I was a waitress.
Yep.
Am I qualified to have you listen to me? Yeah, because of what I've gone through and because of that education. Coaching and or your network allows you to skip levels.
Yep.
That's the point. How can I skip levels based on I don't have to go through what you've been through? You've already been through it, so I don't make that mistake. I'm going to make different mistakes.
Right. Rich mistakes, hopefully.
Other mistakes.
Yeah.
I don't have to make the same ones you made.
Yep.
By God.
Yep.
We'll get there faster.
We will. And we can impact and help so many people get there at such a high speed of rate that we're excited about and that we're thrilled about. And that's why we're going to continue on with this podcast. This is only season 2, my dear friends, and this is another episode down. Thank you so much for being with us. We'll see you in the next one.
Oh, the next one's going to be insane.
Oh my gosh.
Stay tuned.
Please listen to the next one.
If you keep hearing us talking about these impact trips where we're going and changing lives, delivering disaster response, we're helping to end human trafficking, we're building out these financial education programs to help people locally and globally be able to build themselves up, pull themselves up with dignity, and stand on their own 2 feet and be able to provide for themselves and their family. If you want to get involved in our give back initiatives, go to broketowoke.com and pick which one aligns best with you.